So we're to one of the places where it might seem kind of redundant or silly, and it's like, well, duh. But one of the most important things that we can actually become very disciplined in and become masters of to a certain extent is our breath. Now, one thing that you may think about breathing now, you might think all sorts of things. To be kind of easy on you, I'll say how I thought about breathing. First, I didn't care. Second, I thought, maybe you need just a bunch of air. If you want to be like Sinatra and be able to like fill your lungs and sing really long phrases, then, you gotta really, really tank on air. And quickly, as I started to like try and get better at singing, I found that what I thought was like blowing out my voice. I would end up in those kind of scenarios where it felt like stuff was going wrong because I was over breathing. And so in the process of like my YouTube kind of manhunt and figuring out like how to sing, because I wanted to get better at that time in I want to say it was my 20s. I'm 30 now. So I remember running into Marnell Sample, and he talked about overbreathers, and he talked about people that would just breathe too much, and you don't need that as a singer. And I thought like that was mind-blowing information. I thought you needed so much air, and I think that I was actually kind of resentful towards him, thinking like, oh man, like you're so arrogant saying that kind of stuff. But he was right. I was over breathing for sure, for me personally. And so what I started to do is follow his coaching in regard to the breath, and specifically one of the exercises that I want to share with you now. So the breathing kind of exercise that I want to show you is something that he has in this like step-by-step system. So first is what I want us to do is to take a big breath in. And then blow it all out, almost like you were wringing your lungs. I know that's kind of gross, but wringing your lungs like out of every drop of oxygen, if oxygen was wet or fluid, as you can. And when you're there, where you have no air, hold it for like 5 seconds. And then allow some air to come in through your nose. Believe it or not, that's all you need. And for me, that was like, what? That was crazy talk at my venture into understanding how to breathe well for singing. Now, it doesn't stop there. There's so much more. There's, breathing before a phrase, breathing enough air for a phrase, exhaling at the right time if you have too much air. There are other things, but right now, in establishing a base, this is a really, really strong place to be if you have just enough air. So anytime, if you were like me, where you're over breathing, you might not be over breathing, but this is still really a great discipline for you, is allow yourself to only take what is necessary. If you have to exhale all of your air, take in that big breath, exhale again, hold for 5 seconds. What we're doing there is creating a vacuum so that the air actually wants to come in. And once it's in, then we can sing on it. But we'll talk about that a little bit more as we move into the next lessons. Right now, I'd like you to practice that. Even when you're walking down the street or something, is think about like, okay, how much air do I have? Get rid of it. Hold for 5 seconds. Take a sniff in. Or drop the jaw, allow the air to rush in. And if you want to be a little bit more low key, you wouldn't do that exactly in public, or maybe if you just don't care. But God bless you for that. That's awesome too. But in regard to this exercise, it's really cool if you can start getting it in your daily routine. I'll share one more thing. I remember when I was like trying to take singing seriously on my own and stuff, and really looking up to singers, and I still do. I remember when I found this out, I was like, okay, I need to go the extreme way. So the extreme way for me was to practice just not breathing, and to just hold my breath as long as I could, just so that I could feel the sensation of not breathing, and then allowing the air to come in. Is not letting it just come in on its own, but fighting the urge to gasp and then taking in the air. And if you can develop that relationship, that very, very healthy, deep relationship with your breath, where you're in control of it and it's helping you and it's not fighting you, that's a really, really blessed and graced place, a graced place to be. So that is our breath. Remember just enough and walk through the exercise. Repeat this as many times as it takes you to memorize it, and then start putting this into practice right away, right before you sing a tune. And it will help you to remember to sing before your phrases, or breathe before your phrases as well. But anyway, God bless you, and Lord willing, I will see you in the next lesson.